Hi everyone! How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great today. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but today is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad. We're going to start this live off with giving the Lord some praise. How you guys out there doing? Let's see if I have anybody on here. Hey, friend. How y'all doing? See, I was determined to be on time today. Gotta be showing out. Y'all like my shirt? It's called Delete the Drama. Okay. See this? All right. So how are you guys doing today? I hope you all are doing awesome. I am so excited to see you all are here right now. How's everybody Tuesday going? We're back with another podcast. Truth Tuesdays presents another podcast with KLU Pivot with me, Litsora. How are you guys doing today? I know you all can hear me. Anybody else that is watching, please let me know in the chat that you are there. I'm excited for tonight because the topic that I have for tonight is going to be amazing. Okay, it's going to be amazing. So let me just check. I want to make sure that we are live right now. And so let's see. I believe we are, but I want to be sure. Okay. Let's see. I think we're great. This is what happens when you accrue up one person. You got to make sure that everything is all good. Okay. So I want to make sure that we are all good here. All right. So we're good. We're good. How is everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great, amazing Tuesday. Thank you guys for again chiming in tonight's podcast topic. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm not going to take too much time. Yes, the podcast might be a little bit different. We're growing. We're moving into new ideas, new things that God is continuously to bring to my mind and to my heart about how this podcast is going to be. So guys, we getting it started. Anytime you starting back, you just trying to feel your way through, trying to work out the kinks and get some things going. But I just trust God, and I know this podcast is going to be amazing, and it's going to be a blessing to those who are out there. So again, if you are watching, please put in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching. I hope you guys got your comments, your questions to put on our screen, to put in our comments, so I can definitely be able to answer your comments tonight. JDC, thank you so much. That is my beautiful, beautiful sister who celebrated her birthday on Sunday. Sorry I wasn't able to be there, sis. But I am so happy to have her in my life. And it is amazing to be another year with so much that's going on in the world, with a lot of people are leaving us. There's so much going on. It's just amazing to have people that that's still in your life, that's still alive and doing well, and not only striving but thriving in the things of the Lord and in everyday life. So it is a blessing to be here. And so tonight's topic, I want to jump into it. Our topic tonight is, again, what we're talking about is I'm leaving this relationship because this relationship does not serve me. And this is a great topic, I believe, to discuss, because in today's society, a lot of times we have this mindset, and we say it all the time. Like, we talk about how this person doesn't serve us, and this job doesn't serve us, and this opportunity doesn't serve us well, so I'm going to let this go. However, I feel like with that mindset, sometimes, especially in society, can take on a notion of selfishness. So I want to jump into that topic tonight, and let's talk about it, because again, at Kingdom Language Utterance, we believe in being transparent, being open, and also taking personal accountability and really doing a deep dive and looking within ourselves to see, is it the next person or is it me? And last week, just wanted to briefly recap on last week's topic. We talk about, what it means to discern in relationship, which discerning meaning to judge well. And then when we're in a situation or in a relationship that is delusional, like, and we don't need to be in it because it's not healthy. Let me see. I have a meeting tonight, but I had to jump on first on the topic. Oh, thank you so much for coming on. So in talking about last week's topic, recapping, we talked about a lot of things. We talk about patterns in relationships. We talk about foundations, the value. We talk about how, in order to, we talked about not allowing a situation, like one bad moment in one situation, to be the verdict of the total relationship. Not letting that one bad moment brings you to your point of saying this relationship is over, but to actually look at the foundation of the values that relationship was built on, in order to know, or to to say, I have to make a decision to continue in that relationship, to move forward and to work that out. That, when things are, the foundation of a thing is solid, it's good, your core values in their relationship is right, your core values in their relationship, you both on the same page. We talked about how it's less easy for you to get offended, because you have history with that person and their character, and because you have history with that person, it's less likely for you to end that relationship over a bad moment, because we're human. We're human. So being human, we have moments, we go through situations, there are things that happen that may, every relationship has disagreements, every relationship have hard moments, every relationship go through something, because it's really not the good times that shows you the integrity of that relationship, but it's actually the adversity that you both go through with the other person in a relationship. It's actually the bad moments, the hard times, the difficult times that actually shows you the integrity and the foundation of that relationship. So we did talk about what it is to be not to be reactive in our response when it comes to a situation, but more so to be proactive in our response and our decisions. So when you are proactive, you tend to see beforehand, and sometimes, again, a lot of things can catch us off guard in a relationship, but there are times where there are things that happen that you will, because we're human beings, and again, we're not all the same person. So yes, there will be moments where there will be hard situations, and I can say in a lot of my relationships, I have like real relationships that I can say that it's been over a decade. There have been times where we call it a falling out, but not really a falling out. But we had moments where we was upset with each other, or we had moments that it was hard to discuss certain things or to get over certain things. Your relationship is really, it becomes more solid and solidified when you're able to communicate in a healthy way to each other, even in a difficult moment. So yes, friends are made in adversity, exactly, because if you and your friend never go through something, then who's to say that this is really a relationship that would be healthy to stay in? Like, again, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship that's always somebody that is a yes man or yes woman that would say, hey, everything that I say, you got to agree on. Everything that I want to do, you want to do. You don't have a say in what this relationship looks like or how this relationship flows. So it's important that in a relationship, the person values that other person, their opinions, their thoughts, their feedback, their criticisms. Because in a relationship, in order to grow and to mature, you need people in your life will tell you no. You need people in your life will say, okay, yeah, you're going through this, and I sympathize with you, because you want to have somebody that will grieve with you in situations that you're going through that are hard, but at the same time will not want to allow you to stay there, but they will be more so pushing you to, hey, I know you're feeling this way. If you have a friend that been in a situation for like a week and you're like, okay, it's been a week, like, no, I'm about to go knock the door down to make sure that my friend is okay. Okay, you need those type of people in your life to say, hey, get up, this is not you. This is not you. The person that I know is someone who is strong, who thrives, who then went through hell and back, and you're still here. Like, you need somebody in that life, in your life, that would not enjoy seeing you stay down, if that makes sense. That does not enjoy seeing you not winning, that enjoys you see you grieving. Like, you don't need somebody that's like that. You need somebody that's able to be truthful and honest with you in a relationship, and also push you and have the hard conversation with you so you can grow. So we talked about those things last week, and so we talk about how discernment is not being suspicious in a relationship. Like, how a lot of times we can say, oh, I discern that this person is not a good person to hang around with, but really you're using suspicion. Because again, you have those people that always say that I sense it in my spirit, that person is not good for me. And you're like, no, your spirit is off. Okay. So again, it's when you're discerning that something is not right in a relationship. Again, discernment has to do with judging a situation well, judging making the decision based on what's going on. You have all the context. You have the pretext, the context, and the post-text in order to come to a conclusion that this is not good for you. Okay, for real, sis. Because for a lot of people will go around somebody and be like, I feel it in my spirit, or my spirit is telling me this person ain't good for me, or I sense this. No. Again, sometimes we got to be honest that sometimes what we're feeling, what we're sensing, is coming from a triggered trauma place in our lives. Sometimes a lot of things, like I said, it's not the other person. It could be us. It can be past situations and past experiences that we had that honestly is a trigger from our trauma, right? It's not something that person did. It's not, it may seem familiar because of something that maybe was said or done, but a lot of times it's really us. We need to take a personal accountability and look at what is causing us to feel the way that we feel and think the way we think. And so that's a recap of what we talked about last week. And so this week, the topic is about servitude in a relationship. Because again, this culture that we live in, we have to be careful about the verbiage and the language that we are jumping on the bandwagon of these language trends of people saying certain things, not knowing the meaning behind it. And again, so when somebody says that it is okay to leave a relationship when it doesn't serve you well anymore, we have to be careful about that. We really had to be careful about that, because when you're in a relationship, the most important part of a relationship is for those people to serve each other, not really serving yourself. If you're in a relationship and the only thing you could think about is what's not happening for you, but you're never looking at what you are doing to contribute in this relationship, that's a problem. That's a problem. Because I say that because, a lot of times we have this thing, we say it's okay to be selfish about ourselves. Okay, And I've said that a lot in the past. Like, you can serve people for so long and do. And if you're never selfish about yourself, meaning taking time for yourself, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you're pouring into everybody, but not pouring into yourself. That's not a good place to be. So when we look at, again, this is a faith-based podcast. And so when we look at the different scriptures that talk about servitude, I have scriptures like Galatians 5:13, right? And so when we look at Galatians 5:13, and I'm going to read it right quick, and it says, I'm going to see it. Listen, we have the internet, but nowadays you need the word. You need your Bible. You see all them? You need a hard copy, okay? Because sooner or later, you may not be able to access. Okay? You may not be able to access the internet. You're going to need to have a hard copy. So everybody should have a hard copy somewhere or the other. Okay? So, and again, this is a faith-based podcast, but I want my audience to be faith. If you're in the faith, if you're not in the faith, I wanted to be able to touch lives all over, because again, everybody is not on the same journey. Everybody's not on the same page. But my hope is that at the end of it, that whatever the message that God is trying to get out of me through you, that it bless your soul and it bless your heart, and it gives you some kind of change of mind to want to be better and grow better, and even building a relationship with Jesus Christ. So that's the whole goal here. So again, when we go to Galatians, okay, let's go to Galatians 5:13 right quick. And it says, for brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. Serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And so you may look at that and say, well, I don't love myself, so how can I love my neighbor? Okay, so there is in the Bible, it says, then love your neighbor as Christ loved you. So take it a step further for those who may have an issue with your self-image, your self-worth, your self-value, how you feel like you don't feel like you're worthy. So even though it says love your neighbor as yourself, there is another step to it in the word that it says love your neighbor as Christ loved you, because even though you may not love yourself, he always loved you. So you always want to think about, and if you love yourself, you would want to love that other person the way you love yourself, because you wouldn't want to be abused. You wouldn't want nobody to look down on you or treat you funny or any kind of way. So again, in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's co-workers or whatever, you don't want to be in a relationship where it's all about what somebody can do for you, right? You have to look at, what am I contributing to this relationship? What am I giving? Because sometimes you tend to get what you give. If you are somebody that's always wanting to receive, but you're never giving to receive, then you can't get mad when there's nothing coming back, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, in a relationship, and so we have these things called the love languages, right? And I always say this, that, some people say my love language is acts of service, my love language is physical touch. No, my love language is all of them, okay? I say it all the time. It's all of them. Because when you're in a relationship, you strive to give your best to the next person, and in hopes that you will receive that back. Now, I know a lot of times we say, when it comes to the believer in our faith, that we don't do it as to in an intention of wanting something back. But at the end of the day, when you give, it's going to come back. It may not be in the form or in the way that you wanted to, because again, in a relationship, say if you are strong at cooking and your spouse is not, right? So if you cooking a meal and this is a part of your service to your spouse, and this is something that they would love for you to do, so you do it because you want to be of service to that other person. You're not doing it for them to cook for you, because again, sometimes everybody some people need a little bit of training. Need a little bit of training. So if you know your spouse can't cook, okay? If you know they can't even boil water, let's be real. If you know if they boil water, the stove, the pot is gonna be burnt up because they're gonna forget about it, or they're gonna be like, come on, if they can't even boil an egg or they can't even make rice, you know for a fact, and you cooking, that may not be something that's gonna come back in that form of cooking. You know, their way of maybe giving that back to you is like, hey babe, I don't want you to cook tonight. I want to bring us dinner. Or, hey, babe, don't cook tonight. I'm taking you out tonight. That may be the giving back, part. May not be cooking a meal, but they may bring something to you. However, in a relationship, when we say I'm leaving this relationship because this doesn't serve me anymore, that takes on the mindset of honestly sometimes selfishness, because you're looking at what that person is not doing for you as if you're not contributing to the behavior, the breakdown of the relationship. Like, you have to look at all of that. And this is a hard conversation to talk about sometimes, because I know everybody don't want to hear that we have to take personal inventory and evaluation, and we have to take personal accountability and looking at the part that we play in a relationship. And again, it's not only based on just marriage. It's also in friendships. It's also in families, like with siblings or parental relationships. Anyway, you have to look at what is the breakdown in this relationship that's causing us not to grow. And usually when you're in a relationship with two people who's trying to outdo themselves and serving one another, listen, ain't nothing. It's like I know about this couple, right? This older couple. Like, I see how they live, like how they react to each other and giving. It's like they try to outdo each other and doing good for them. Like, if like, the wife cook a meal, or the wife would like rub the husband head, or she would sit down and watch a football with him and bring him, something to drink and all that. It's like, but he'll come back and he'll like, give her massages and be like, hey babe, let me take you to Target or take you to your favorite store to get you. It's like they try to outdo each other. So when you think about serving one another in a relationship, when you with a healthy person, I don't mean a person that is selfish. I don't mean a person that is all about them and feeling like they the prize and there's nothing wrong they could ever do. I'm not talking about the person who is not mentally, emotional, stable, and mature. I'm not talking about a person who don't want to grow up and just want to stay, just want to be catered to and pampered. Because a lot of times, some people are used to being taken care of. They're used to being catered and pampered to, that they don't know what it is to do for somebody else. And so that can be the downfall for a lot of us grown folks, because we have grown up with parents or with guardians or people who was in our life that always did for us with no, I don't want to say pressure, but with no kind of expectation of, hey, I'm doing this for you. This is not an obligation. I'm doing this out of love. So because I'm doing this for you, you should want to do something back to that. Like, they wasn't raised with the expectation of when you do and give and contribute to a relationship, it's important for you to do that too, because there will come a time, and again, we are all human beings, so you can get to a point where when somebody gives, serve, you can be, like I said, you can become bitter. You can become upset. You can become like, listen, if one person is always doing, always giving, always being the servant, and the other person don't feel like they have to do anything, usually it's going to be over time when the relationship is going to break down and it's not going to work. A healthy relationship is when you have both parties have the mindset that I'm here to serve you. And it's not in a way as being a slave or being because we know when it comes to the faith, and when it comes to the world of a believer, the Bible talks about servitude, it talks about slavery, it talks about a lot of different things. And over time, slavery, some people went into slavery because they had debts that they had to pay. They had debt. So in order to pay off that debt, they went into slavery for a certain amount of years or time. And once the debt was paid, then they was released. And then you have some people who went into slavery actually to be taken care of, because there were, and I'm not talking about the slavery we know of. There were a time in biblical days or whatever, or in years ago, like years, slavery was a thing, but not as somebody being a possession or somebody being somebody's chattel or whatever like that, or but slavery was a thing where some people went into slavery freely to be taken care of because they didn't have much or they didn't have anything. So they went into slavery to be fed, to be taken care of, to have a place to stay. And everybody that went into slavery, their masters they were not bad. They were not hard taskmasters. A lot of people, there were some people that had slaves and they took care of their slaves. They didn't beat them. They didn't treat them any kind of way. They didn't starve them, and they didn't, make them work for hours and hours without getting rest. No, there were some people who did real good and the Bible talks about it. It says that masters, don't forget that the people that are your slaves that working for you, that you have a master as well. And how you treat them, you're going to be treated as well. Don't forget that. So, and it's not saying that God doesn't say that he agreed or gave permission to have slaves, but we're human. When you have that will, like free will to do certain things, it's like, it's not that it's everything, and everything that we do is not permissible. Let me say that. Like it talks about, everything is not, even though it's maybe the law for you to have a slave, that doesn't mean it's a permissible thing for God for you to have a slave, if that makes sense. So everything that was done, like you had people that had concubines, 4 and 5 wives, and everybody said, well, Abraham had 5 wives, or this person had 5. That doesn't mean God permitted. It doesn't mean that he said it was okay for you to have all these wives. But you're missing the bigger picture, okay? So it's not about, okay, he had all these wives, but God, he had all of these things, and God still said that David was a man after his heart, and still say that Abraham was his friend, and even with having all these different things. So that doesn't necessarily say that God permits and agree with everything that we do. Okay, his relationship, because we human, but we still have to be held accountable for the choices and the decision we make. Whatever decision they make, they still going to be held accountable for that, right? You can become numb. You can become numb in a situation because, again, as human beings, a lot of times we say, well, it's not about, giving to receive back. And it's not about, doing with the expectation. But then again, we're human. So we do want to be able to know that in a relationship, that just as much as I value you, you value me as well. So when you have two people that has a mindset to serve one another in a relationship, that I'm doing this service to you because I love you and I want to take care of you and I want to show you how much I value you, and that I consider you and that I want to share with you, and the other person has the same attitude, then it makes the relationship more easier for you both to live in harmony with one another, right? That's why it's important. That's where peace comes in. Peace comes in when you serve one another, when it's not always about what that other person can do for you, but what can you do for them, right? And so it can become very daunting. It can become very difficult at times for somebody that has a heart of a servant and that loves to do for others. And then sometimes we got to be careful because that can be stemming from a place of people pleasing. And because when you deal with something, when you deal with abandonment, you deal with rejection, you deal with not feeling love or having a relationship that's always was healthy, or you were never raised to feel like you belong or you're valuable or all of these stuff. A lot of times when you grow up in that type of environment and with those kind of relationship, you tend to be a people pleaser. So you do because in your mind, is if that person is happy, if they're happy, I'm happy. Even if you're not happy, if what I'm doing making you happy and keeping me around, then I'm good. And that too is not healthy. Okay? That too is not healthy. So because you're not doing it out of a heart of servitude, because you're doing it out of love, and you're doing it because you want to belong. You're doing it because you want to be validated. You want to be confirmed. You want to be valued. You're doing it because you want somebody to see your worth. So it's like a lot of times we serve out of wanting validation and not really doing it because this is a part of who we are and we love to serve. And so it can be a little funky, it could be a little tricky, but that's why we always have to go back to what is the basis, what is the foundation of my intentions of my servitude. What is my intention in this? Me in this relationship and serving and giving and doing, what is the foundation of my intentions? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this because at the end of the day, everybody is not like you. I had to learn that the hard way. Okay? For a lot of people that are naturally have that thing in them to be a service, to be a servant, it's like, let me see. It's like in your mind, when you do for others and you constantly doing it, and your mind is like, well, why is this person? It's like, why are they not doing it as well? Like, what? Like, how do you not see that the same thing I'm giving to you, you should be doing to me? It's like this. It's almost like why everybody is not like me, and everybody is not like you. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but we have to realize that you being who you are, you being that, having that servant's heart, having that heart as a giver, you have to realize that if that's really who you are, you got to have the expectation that everybody is not going to be like you. Everybody don't have the same mindset as you. And that can be in whatever. That can be in ministry, in church. That can be on your job. That can even be in your family. You can be the person that give. But you have to realize you got to come to grips and say, sit down and think about, okay, why am I giving like this? Because again, you're going to come to the place where you're going to get, again, burnt out. You're going to start to get bitter. You're going to get aggravated, agitated for being around people. And so that best part of you, which is that servant's heart, can turn cold, because in your mind, you're like, well, why I'm this way to everybody else and everybody is not like this to me? I don't understand it. And so I'm learning, even in my journey, I'm learning that everybody does not have the same mindset as you, and it's okay. Don't let what other people do stop you from being who you are. If you are a servant, continue being a servant, having a servant heart. If you have a servant's heart, keep that heart. And the Bible does talk about guarding your heart. You have to guard your heart, because if you don't guard your heart and remember who you are and remember why you do what you do, and if you don't take self-inventory at your intentions of why you do what you do, it's going to break you down. it's going to break you down, and you'll become this person that you like, who am I? Like, oh my God, it turns you into something totally different. Okay. And so that's something that I want us to remember, that when you know who you are, you hold servitude to others as meaningful. I wanted to bring that out. And pride and puffed up people don't know their word. So a lot of times when somebody always want to be served, it's because they don't know their word. They are in a place like their ego. They deal with a lot of insecurities. They deal with a lot of, oh, it's about me. I want to shine. Like, but if somebody who wants to be served, usually are the people who be in the background, who really be like, listen, I ain't got to be up front. Just stick me in the back. Okay, if you're doing an event, those usually people really, you be like, this person got a servant's heart. They really have a servant's heart. These are the people who be like, let me just stay in the back. Let me work the media. Let me help out with hospitality. Or you at your job, hey, you ain't got to worry about, all of that. I'm doing this just because I love to do it. And I love to see people happy. I love to see people. I love that what I do make others happy and blessed and give them joy. Okay. So one thing I want to point out before I go into the next section of my podcast, that pleasing does not mean contributing to people's lust, wickedness, or evil desires. So when we're pleasing somebody, when we like, okay, I'm shifting from servitude to pleasing, because when you serve somebody, you're doing it to please the other person. It's not about being a people pleaser. There's a totally different thing, because the Bible talk about pleasing the Lord and pleasing others. So when you're really pleasing others, it's not pleasing them in ways that is not good for your soul. Like if you have somebody and they wanted you to do things that are not right and that are wrong, that are lustful, that are evil, we're not doing that. So let me give you this example. And this can be a hard pill to swallow, because I know. So say you're in the church world, you're doing ministry, whatever, and you have a servant's heart and you are doing things to help everybody and all this other stuff. But then somebody say, they want you to do something, but it's wrong. Like, go tell that person such and such and such and such. And in your heart, it's not right. You don't have to, again, you don't have to do something for somebody else when it's not right. You don't. Being a servant leader, or being just having a servant heart, it's not doing something that's going to ruin my soul or make me not sleep at night. It's okay to be like, no, I'm not. And it's not you doing it out of saying that, oh, I'm doing it because they told me to do it. Because at the end of the day, you still have a decision in doing what is right. Like, you don't have to do with I don't care if they the president. I don't care if they have a title. I don't care if they the pastor. I don't care if they your mama. I don't care if it's your spouse. You have the right to say no when it's something that is wrong. I don't care what it is and who it is. Because at the end of the day, it's like, are you loyal? Is your servitude is based on, are you that loyal to your own downfall just to save face and say, I'm a servant? No, I'm not. Well, I learned over the years, right? It's been like, I've been in ministry for a long time, and I haven't, since 2020, but it's been decades I was in ministry. And what I'm realizing, that at the end of the day, every decision you make, it's not going to be, you can't say, well, they made me do it. Yes, they have a part in it where they're going to get in trouble. They're going to have to answer to everything that they did, but you're going to have to answer for what you did as well. So I would rather save my soul and say no, and you fuss me out, cuss me out, demote me, throw me out, do whatever you want to do, because at the end of the day, my soul is at stake. And if I can preserve my soul, then I'm not going to kill myself to please you. I know it's a hard pill to swallow right now. I know this probably going to make a lot of people mad, but this is what it is. I'm not going to jeopardize my heart, my conscience, my peace, my sleep at night. I'm not going to jeopardize that to do something. It's like going back to that story with the old prophet that telling the young prophet to eat when the Lord told him no. It doesn't matter who you are. If you know something is not right and you have your own, like you were given, because at the end of the day, you are the only one that's accountable for your soul and your decisions, nobody else. So if somebody telling you to do something that's not right, yeah, I may have a servant's heart, but that my servant's heart don't make me do things that are wrong. So when you're in a relationship, when you have two people that are healthy and you are serving each other, then the relationship tends to stand as longer and stronger because the integrity is there. The integrity is there. And if that person truly loves you and cares about you and value you, they will never put you in a position to make you feel like you will have to do something wrong just to please them. As a matter of fact, they will make sure that everything that they're contributing and doing for you is causing you to grow, is pushing you to mature, is pushing you to be better. You're learning things from one another. You're becoming more knowledgeable and being stewardships of each other's heart. You're being a good stewardship over each other's mind, over each other's body. Like, you want to be in a relationship where you want to serve that person to the point where everything I'm doing for you is so that you can be better. And because I know that if you are growing and you are being better, then I know I'm going to be better. I'm going to be growing because we're both serving each other. Okay. And so again, we have to go back and be mindful and careful that when we say, I don't want to be in this relationship because this relationship is not serving me. Like, everything is not about you. Everything is not about you. You got to look at, what are you doing? What are you contributing? What are some things that you can do to make the relationship better and grow? Okay. And I'm hoping that for each and every one of us, especially thus that are single, that we are waiting for the Lord to bring that person in our lives, is that we get that person who want to give just as much as we want to give and do it just as much as we want to do. Because again, having that mindset of a servant in a relationship, it will be hard for you all to break up because you both want to do good for each other. And so this is the part that I am going to pause. And so I'm going to see if anybody wants to come up and want to share. This is the part of the podcast. It's called Collaborative Conversation. Next week, we will have a better setup. And so this is the moment where anybody have any questions, anybody have any comments, anybody would like to chime in on the conversation. If you would like to come on and share in the conversation, I can send you a link so you can share and come on into the live, and you can share your thoughts if anybody want to come on. Or you can just put it in the comments, because I know some of us, we're not good at just coming on at the last minute and to talk about it. But anybody have anything that you want to share? If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, go ahead and put it in the chat now. Or if you want to come on the live and you want to share your thoughts on it, go ahead and put in the chat, live me please. live me, please, and I can go ahead and send you the link, and you can come on and share your thoughts on the topic. And if you want to add anything to the topic, you are welcome to as well. So I'm gonna give about 5 minutes for anybody who would like to come on and share, or if you have any questions, go ahead, put it in the chat. Any questions you may have that you want me to answer about this topic, if you have any burning questions or anything to say, go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and do it now. And while you do that, I'm going to play a little bit of music. Okay. I'm going to play a little bit of music so I can give you about 4 more minutes. 4 more minutes. You got 4 more minutes. You got 3 more minutes. Anybody want to come on? Play me some more music. This is one of my favorite songs right now, y'all. I hope y'all can hear it. We got 3 minutes. Anybody want to comment or put a question? Give me a lot. Hey. Into worship, my pain, into purpose. Can y'all hear that? He don't play about me. He don't play. God be showing out. He don't play about me. 2 minutes. Anybody got any comments or questions? Go ahead, put it in the chat. Here we go again. Again, y'all like my shirt? It says delete the drama. Okay. We got to delete the drama out of our lives. All right, we got 2 minutes. Purpose, he'll do it in public, so you know I'm not perfect. He don't just show up. All right. God be showing out. He don't play about me. God, he don't play. God be showing out. He don't play about me. All right. It seems like we don't have no questions tonight, and that is okay. All right. So we don't have no questions or comments right now, which is fine. So listen, you guys, put in the chat if you love the conversation, if you love the topic tonight. Again, we can do some more deep diving. So every round gets higher and higher and higher and higher. Just know that KLU Pivot is growing. It's getting better. And I promise you guys, if you just stick it out with me on this journey, please believe that I have some things that's in the works that's going to be amazing, especially when it comes to our collaborative conversation. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. So starting, I want to say next week or the week after, I'm going to start having some guests on. That's going to be a part of my collaborative conversation piece where they're going to come in and share their thoughts for 10-15 minutes in regards to the topic. I'm excited about that. I already have some things in the works, so it's not just going to be me. It's also going to be another person that's going to be coming on, because I believe that there's nothing like having dialogue and having a conversation, bouncing off ideas and thoughts and questions and all of these different things with somebody else. So this may be maybe my last one by myself. Yeah, because I have some things in the works. So, and then also I'm thinking about adding another day. Just let me know in the chat after watching this podcast if you would like me to add an extra day. I'm thinking about adding an extra day, which is Thursday, to do True Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or I'm just going to keep it at Tuesdays, because sometimes I feel like the conversation, I be ready to go. I just be ready to go. I feel like I be ready to just like have another conversation. Like I feel like waiting a whole week to talk about the next topic is so long. And so I'm just like, oh, just you are enough. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I'm excited though. I'm excited where this podcast is going. I'm excited what God is going to be doing. Again, it's only hopefully like an hour of your time. If we go a little bit over that, that's okay. But it's going to be 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, and I'm praying about whether if I should add another day, like a Thursday. Like I said, there's so much topics and so much things that I would love to share and discuss and talk about. And sometimes having just one day a week and having to wait the whole week until the next Tuesday, sometimes it's like a little bit too long. So let me know after you watch this podcast if you would love for me to consider adding another day. So it'll be 2 times a week, or it might be 2 times every other week, depending on how it works. But let me know in the chat how you like this conversation. Was this conversation something that you're looking forward to more jump in and deep dive and think about? So I got to do my little hand claps, y'all. Hand clap. Let's see. Hand clap effects. Let's see. I want to do this. So I'm supposed to I want to do this. So tell me, right? Tell me. Do y'all think this was a great podcast tonight? Oh, let me know in the chat if you enjoyed this topic. And I thank you all so much, those who jumped in. Janice, my friend, thank you so much for being on this. Was a good topic and conversation. Miss Education, you are enough. This is amazing. I really enjoyed you guys. Listen, I'm just excited. I'm excited where this podcast is going to go. I'm just excited about the dialogues. I'm excited about the conversations, the topics. I have so much topics that the Lord has been dealing with me over the past year or two that I've been down from the show, that I've been in the works, in the trenches. And so I'm just excited to share this with you guys. And so I'm going to wrap it up right here. And I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on the show. And I'm turning my music back up, y'all, because I love this song. I just love this song. I want to thank you guys for joining me and coming on. I wish you have a blessed night and have a wonderful night. And I look forward to seeing you again next week, Tuesday, here on Truth Tuesday on KLU Pivot with LaTora. Have a nice day. Bye.